Thank you, Jonathan, as ever. Every Shabbat morning I study the Torah portion, and then I study your column in The Guardian. People, togetherness means so much. People ask, I think, even now, how are you? And one says out of habit, okay, and then one says, really not okay. And here we are, being gripped by horror. We feel fear, and yet we're grasping after hope, which is what so often the New Israel Fund has helped us to do. It's the Shloshim, 30 days, more or less, since the 7th of October, the period of time when one begins to look at one's grief and find some heart space and head space for reflection. So from me now, some words of Torah, as one would expect from a rabbi, a prayer, a short silence for which I'll invite people to stand, and then my long-standing friend and colleague, Rabbi Alexandra Wright, will take over. A word of Torah. The outstanding word in yesterday's Torah reading is very simple. Hineni, here I am. It's what Abraham says to God when asked to go and climb with his son the mountain to the place of sacrifice. And I wonder, how in these times do I say, Hineni, I'm here, to my God, who is called in the Torah Ish Milchama, a man of war, but far more often the God of justice, righteousness, and above all, the God who mechalkel chaim bechesed, who nurtures life with loving kindness, all life, not just Jewish life, every life. How does one say, here am I, to God now? And then when Isaac says, where's the lamb? Says, my father, and he's going to say, where's the lamb for the sacrifice? Abraham says to his son, Hineni, I'm here. How are we here for our family? The big, deeply connected family of the whole Jewish people. How do I show my heart's connection with so many people I want to reach out to, and able to feel less alone, and whom I love? And can I say it? There's an unspoken Hineni, which people have talked about to many of us a lot. Can I reach across the silence dividing us in workspaces and schools, dividing Jews from Muslims? Can one find any kind of common language of shared pain or fear or even determination? We must work together, which will lead to some kind of hope. So my Torah is the Torah of not how do I say, how do I live? Hineni, I'm here in this moment. And we need each other to help us with that. I'm going to go from Torah to a prayer, which I've written and change and fiddle with every day as I feel differently. I'm going to read it and then invite people to stand, if people can stand, if it's okay to stand, for a short silence. In the midst of this cruel war, we pray for an outcome for Israel and its neighbors, which swiftly restores calm, ensures security, and leads to an enduring political solution, resulting in justice and peace. We pray for the end of Hamas and the defeat of all terror and terrorist organizations. We pray for the release of all hostages and their safe return home to their longing and desperate families. We pray for a minimum of casualties among the soldiers of the IDF and among all civilians in Gaza and Israel caught in the fighting. We pray for everyone across Israel and the Jewish world, giving shelter and support to the tens of thousands evacuated from their homes. We pray for everyone supporting those wounded, traumatized, and grief-stricken by Hamas's barbaric attack. We pray for everyone striving to bring healing. We pray that the laws of war may be honored even in these terrible situations. We pray for the supreme values of mercy and compassion. Our God is the God of all life. We pray for the safety of the many thousands of innocent Palestinian people whose plight is appalling, who desperately need food, water, and medicines and safe escape routes from the fighting. We pray for everyone striving to bring them protection and humanitarian aid. We pray for a better future for them too, for a life of freedom and dignity. We pray for the remarkable people devoting themselves to saving lives wherever they are. We pray for all who, despite the fear and hostility, recognize the image of God in every victim of this terrible conflict and who work for healing on all sides. We pray too for our society here in Britain. We pray that anti-Semitism, anti-Muslim hate, and all forms of race and religious hatred are overcome, so that we can work together in solidarity for a harmonious future for all. Even as the fighting continues, we pray that a better way is urgently found than war with its unspeakable horrors, so that Israel and its Palestinian neighbors can live together in safety and peace, with life and hope for everyone. Please, if you feel able, stand for a silence. Thank you. Please sit.